Arsenal. Alex Giordi trying to combine together. Braithwaite, though, he's inside the box, and what a strike that is on his left foot. It's Alex once again in 3-1 to Barcelona. Every single sniff of the goal they get, they seem to bury it, and Arsenal, they can't keep the ball out of their hand.
Well, there were plenty of questions asked when Alex R has been selected for this Barcelona squad. Some people saying too young, other people saying, who is this man? He's got 4 goals already across the 2 match days. His second here against Arsenal in the first game. And what a strike it is as well. Is it Braithwaite again there for the young man on the right-hand side of your screen? I think it was the Palmer with the assist as well. I'll tell you what, Alex Giordi here playing against his former clubs. I mean, any nerves he had has just been completely put to bed by his teammates, because I don't want to say they're doing all the work, but they're certainly contributing with all the goals. He doesn't even need to worry about that aspect of the game here.
Hasn't needed to. He really hasn't. And Alex R now just doing the defensive work too. Is Messi on side for Alex Giordi? It seems that way. Oh, he's looking for the pass back to Braithwaite, but once again, good defending by the Arsenal side. See, once again, but it really has been sort of haphazard at times for the North London club. What a ball that is to Coutinho, though. Here we go with Alex R again. Can't quite squeeze through. Those intricate passes in the final third from Barcelona have been accurate, have been menacing, and been siding through this Arsenal defence. Messi now looking for Coutinho, can't quite find it. Will be cleared away by Indijala via David Luiz. Alex Giordi now looking for Coutinho as the Palmer going to get in on the action. That's a big chance, and it very well could have been fought. Fantastic build up here. Once again, Braithwaite at the heart of it. Coutinho, you expect him to do better.
Just skims the netting there, doesn't he? And well, I was going to question when the changes would come in here for Arsenal. Looks like they're not actually using the 5 at the back. They've switched to a 3 now, and well, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. They need goals, and they need to come pretty soon if they want to snatch anything in terms of a result out of this first game against Barcelona. 2 goals down.
Occasions afoot, of course, and they need to do something to inspire them here. It has to be said, though, I think if you are Arsenal in this one, you have had chances. You have been able to occasionally get through this Barcelona defence, so that's got to give you some sort of positivity heading in towards this final 20 or so in-game minutes. But if you're Barcelona, you know whenever you get a chance, you're basically going to score it. Only the Coutinho one being missed. Every other half chance has been converted by the Catalan side, but Griezmann is going to pick up the ball here, and here's Lionel Messi. It is going to be Alex R to find another goal. The outside of the post.
Oh, Chris.
It was the first touch, Harry.
It was. I wonder if the option was there with Braithwaite again, but I think Alex R, knowing he's on a hat-trick, knowing his club is 2 goals up, maybe just fancied the match ball there. It's unfortunate for Arsenal because up one end, Indijala was in behind with Mesut Ozil. The pass just couldn't find him. They decided to go backwards instead, and it almost spelled their doom.
Yeah, it was a loose ball, wasn't it, in the middle? Couldn't get anything going, but look at the Barcelona players swarming. That doesn't come down to anything else apart from everybody controlling who they should be and getting aggressive in their defensive game.
Yeah, Chris, and when you watch the way that Arsenal play when Barcelona have the ball in midfield, there's just no pressure. I mean, just look at the Palmer here. I mean, there's players having to come from behind rather than attacking them and pressuring them from the front. So that's a complete contrast in the 2 clubs' play.
The Palmer's scraped through, Braithwaite in the middle as well. Good defending once again by Arsenal. And this won't be played out wide to Pepe now. It's a loose ball forward. It just seems to be that they're not on the same wavelength this week, Arsenal, in the first game at least anyway. Braithwaite with the back heel. Not able to find anything that time, Alex R. Now Barbosa playing it forward. That's a good ball out to Pepe and Dominator now. What can he do to create? Passes it back towards Aubameyang. Dominator looking for the chip through. Surely this is a goal. Oh my goodness, Ozil just can't get it under control. And that was potentially a big opportunity.
Yeah, good defensive work there from Alex GRD. Here's the ball away. Indajawa surely would have had a tap in almost from 6 yards out, but defensively it's it's suspect, but it's getting the job done for Barcelona. We saw their 35% possession for them, but the only stat that really matters, Chris, as we often say, is the goals, and it's 3-1 in their favour now with just 5 in-game minutes to go.
As a famous pundit once said, goals win games, Harry. And at this moment in time, Barcelona are the ones finding the goals. This gets now under control by the Palmer, just slowing this game down. They don't need to necessarily pressure any further, but will they anyway? It's a dink ball through. Braithwaite offside by a hair's breadth there, Harry. Another close
Maybe
call by the referee.
Offside.
An earlobe. Are we getting the lines out to draw them this time round? I don't know if I don't know if the earlobe counts as offside. Who knows in this day and age? Arsenal, can they find anything miraculous here? Even a goal would not necessarily be a bad thing for them, although you feel as if the point is maybe a little bit far. Aubameyang to Lacazette, into Willian. It's a well-worked opportunity. And they just can't get the ball on the back of the net. It has to be said, Barcelona have had more chances, but Arsenal have had theirs too. The difference being Barcelona have been horribly clinical. Arsenal will not be taking anything from this first game.
Manual save from Alex R as well, the man with 2 goals in this match. As the corner comes in, I'm not sure he had much to do with it, but he'll take the in-game points for the save.
Barcelona just trying to clear their lines as the time does pass by. And that will be game number 1, and that will be Barcelona taking it 3-1. 3 points on the board for them before we head into the second game. But it has to be said, Harry, just a very clinical performance in terms of the opportunities they had. They made the most of them every single time.
Yeah, they were very content, weren't they, with letting Arsenal have the ball. I don't know whether or not that's maybe a bit of research being done by the men on your screen after watching Arsenal play against Schalke 04 on match day 1. I mean, they only scored 2 goals on that match day against Schalke 04, one of the arguably weaker teams in the league. I know Schalke probably won't like me saying that, and they'll no doubt want to try and prove me wrong going into the this and future match days. But for all possession that Arsenal had, not only on match day 1, but in that game as well, game number 1, they didn't really threaten the goal too many times, apart from that Willian chance at the start. So maybe Barcelona over the winter break just analysing some of Arsenal's play. We did see that really unfortunate offside from Indajawa. I mean, we are talking millimetres. He's only just in front of the ball for the square, and at that point it's 1-0 to Arsenal if that isn't offside. But instead, Barca just go up the other end, and from then it's almost like a sucker punch, isn't it? So disappointment for Arsenal. They have another game coming in game 2 here, Chris. That's the main thing. But for me, I want to see them be a bit more, put a bit more impetus in terms of pressing the ball in the midfield. We saw a complete contrast in the way the two clubs were approaching the midfield battle. We saw Barcelona hassling and harrying the Arsenal midfield. They didn't really have any time to conjure up any chances, and well, the chances that they did get came from one-touch passing, which can be very hit and miss in PES. So it was a good game plan from Barcelona. I think if Arsenal could do the same thing in the midfield, they might be able to maybe take a bit of pressure off their own defence and maybe get a few lucky breaks here and there, and maybe score some of the goals that we saw Barcelona score in that first match. I mean, that one right there from Alex R, very fortunate indeed. But yeah, an interesting game 1. I don't think Arsenal will be very happy with it. And I think they'll be disappointed when you consider in the pre-match video, the interview we saw with Dominator, they thought that this Barcelona defence, Chris, would be very wide open. They shipped plenty of goals on match day 1 against the AS Roma, and well, it seems the winter break has done them very, very well, because they looked very regimented and very organised there in game 1.
They really did, and I think if you're Arsenal, you have to take the positives from this one, is that, you know, a couple of the Barcelona goals result from maybe deflections out, etc., you know, but Barcelona have only got to take the chances that are presented there in front of them. They did so, and think if you're Arsenal, you could sort of say, you know, we may be unfortunate with some of the chances that did present themselves towards that Barcelona side. But going into the second game, it has to be so much better on the offensive side for the Arsenal side. Just really couldn't get anything going. But I think, you know, you look back to it as well, if that ball isn't offside, if Aubameyang had maybe just not stepped ever so slightly too early, it's a very, very different landscape at the beginning of the game.
Well, what's interesting is we're seeing Arsenal actually start with this three at the back going into game two. I do wonder whether or not that's a formation change coming into match day two, whether they've been starting with it in match one. I didn't quite catch a glimpse of the tactics before the match started, but they're starting this game two with that three at the back. Early, like I've been asking them to do coming into this second game, Chris. We'll see what changes that has here on the complexion of the match.
In the game number two, we go Barcelona in the black from right to left, and Arsenal in the red and white from left to right. It's going to be Messi with the first opportunity here for Barcelona. Was Alex Giardi getting down the right-hand side. Close control from Messi, always difficult to deal with.